Why?
For you to get many
Sorry about that, everybody.
new achievements, and on top of this, also level up your character, as you'll be rewarded with experience every time you win a battle. Talking about leveling up, this is also something you could do, so leveling up different all characters to 85, so you can use these as profession characters in Mist of Pandaria, or simply if you're going to re-roll your main character. I'm using a leveling guide myself whenever I level up, but I will also enjoy the pre-patch because there's going to be many new ways to level up and also many new dungeons to enjoy. In addition to this, I'm also planning to level a monk myself, and I'm doing many preparations for this upcoming class that I will share anytime soon. But in the pre-patch we can level up in many different ways, and the leveling guide I'm following I will also continue to follow, as this is going to be updated and working, and also working when Mist of Pandaria will be released, so you can quickly reach level 90 in next to no time. For more information, make sure to check out the description below the video, where there will be a redirect link to where you can download this amazing add-on. Soon, Hidden Chance will no longer be purchasable, no matter if it's going to be from Classic, Burning Crusade, Wrath of the Lich King, or Cataclysm. So if you, for example, have a twin character, or just a max level character where you still need your Hidden Chant, then purchase these, because in the pre-patch you will no longer be able to purchase them. Another wise decision is to stack up on 4000 honor. Why? Well, all items that used to cost conquest points in Cataclysm will now be purchasable for honor.
Really?
So you can purchase all the remaining PvP items you're still missing. In addition to this, you could also convert all your honor into justice points, and that way stack up more than 4000 for the pre-patch. The quickest way to farm honor is just to spam random battlegrounds, but also to make sure you're doing Winter Grasp every 3 hours, as this will reward you an insane amount of honor in next to no time. You can also spend the honor and that way purchase other heirloom items. These are mainly for PvP, but they're still giving you the additional experience boost. Now that I'm already talking about PvP, soon you will no longer be able to climb either your arena rating or battleground rating and purchase the different items that requires you to, for example, have 2200 rating. So make sure to try to climb your arena rating and raid or battleground rating and unlock these items, because soon they will be unique, as you will no longer be able to purchase them the moment the pre-patch goes live. Remember, you can also sign up for the Mist of Pandaria beta and hopefully get access anytime soon, so you can practice your upcoming route, try out the new class and race, and even find bugs that will make this experience even better the moment it goes live.
Okay. Let's see, what is another thing? How to prepare for Mist of Pandaria. You need to do this. Hello, Solheim Gaming.
What is up, guys? It's your boy Solheim here, back with another Classic WoW video for the progressive Classic WoW servers that are currently in Cataclysm and heading into Mist of Pandaria in a few months from now. And today I want to talk about how to prepare yourself for Mist of Pandaria and currently in Cataclysm. So this will kind of be one way that I'm personally preparing my character at the moment, and for this one I'm mainly talking about your main character, but you can definitely do it on your alts as well. So first of all, what I'm doing right now is gearing up my characters a little bit, because some of them are lacking from phase 1 and phase 2, like really badly geared. As you can see here, 355 item level, and what I'm doing to gear up is that when you get to 353, you can start doing random elemental ruin protocol dungeons. So Protocol Twilight, for example, and getting valor points, getting good gear from that. But if the only thing you care about is item level, I believe the fastest way to gear up is actually doing one random battleground every single day, or I should say one random battleground victory every single day.
Really?
This gives you 540 honor points for winning, plus the honor points from like honorable kills inside the battleground, and 120 conquest points as well. Now,
This sounds like terrible advice. I'll be honest. Like, is he saying just get 120 conquest points a day? Like, that sounds so bad, actually.
doing that for 10 days, you can buy yourself a conquest piece. So for example, the rings, the neck.
10 days. 10 days. The fastest way to gear up is to take 10 days of doing battlegrounds. That sounds insane.
All of those things, they are 1 to 50 conquest each, and they are 403 item level. In addition to that, the honor points will really quickly start racking up, and you can then buy yourself some honor gear, which once again, 1 to 50 honor, you can get 390.
Listen, doing battlegrounds is like totally fine. Like, but dude, that sounds like a terrible fucking route.
Item level honor items for pretty cheap. Now, the main reason for gearing up, especially for me, is that in Mr. Pandaria, you will be able to get some gear pretty quickly. Like, you start getting around 370 item level from the start, like when you start questing, so you do get geared up pretty fast. That being said, if you get to 390 from honor gear, that is going to last you until level 86, maybe even level 87, and the thing is, you can then start queuing up for dungeons right away, because you need to have about 350 or something, maybe a little bit more, to even queue up for normal dungeons at level 85. So I really just want to have the item level required to queue up from the get-go, and that way I can queue up for dungeons while I'm questing from the start of Mr. Pandaria. So the main reason for this is once again just to queue up for dungeons. So if you don't care about dungeons, you're just going to quest the entire way, it doesn't really matter, but I mean, gear is always going to be nice to have, right? Even if you're questing, the more gear you have, the more damage you do, and the more stamina you have, so the more mobs you can pull. It's all like kind of a snowball effect. Gear is always good, and when you can do one battleground win every single day and gear up fast, why not just do that, right? Now, one more thing that I'm personally doing to prepare myself for Mr. Pandaria Classic is simply skilling up professions, and I'm not talking about your main professions here, I'm talking about your secondary or tertiary professions. So if you go to your professions tab right now, like herbalism and mining, having your main professions skilled up, that's always going to be a good thing. But you also really want to have archaeology, fishing, cooking, and even first aid at max skill.
I wonder what kind of
when
archaeology
going into
stuff
Mr.
there is to
Pandaria.
do.
Now, if like all of these are going to be relevant, by the way, both archaeology, fishing, cooking, and first aid. But if I had to pick two of them, I will say cooking and first aid. Like those two will be very relevant to have. But once again, the more you have, the better. And on your main character, you kind of want to have all of them at max skill going into Mr. Pandaria. Now, for the most part, you can skill them up in Mr. Pandaria as well. Like, for example, cooking gets a catch-up mechanic, where you can skill up using Mr. Pandaria reagents the entire way. And fishing, you can simply fish in Mr. Pandaria the entire way. So, skilling up gets easier in Mr. Pandaria. But I mean, fishing still takes time, and same thing with cooking. So you can do it right now to save yourself that time, once again, when Mr. Pandaria comes out. So why do you want to have these professions?
Shit,
well,
guys.
we're talking about Mr. Pandaria here, and for
There's
anyone
an
who
extra
has played
10%
Mr. Pandaria
XP.
in the past, you might know about daily quests. Mr. Pandaria has a bunch of daily quests, and the thing is, many of these daily quests actually
Where the fuck is
revolve
it?
around your professions. So to give you some examples where having these professions is going to be relevant, first of all, we have this questing hub right here in the Arbotherum in Jade Forest, and over here you'll be farming reputation with the Order of the Cloud Serpent. This is to be able to, for example,
doing that for
use
sure,
these
guys.
Cloud Serpents in Mr. Pandaria, and if you have tool crafting, you get your craft for the mounts here as well, like the Jade Panther, the Sunstone Panther, and the Jeweled Onyx Panther. Basically, the tradable, sellable jewel crafting mounts you will get recipes for from this faction. So you really, like most people, will be grinding out this faction. And over here you will have access to 3 daily quests usually, that you will then go over to the island, for example, raise the Cloud Serpents. Basically, you have access to 3 daily quests by default. But then you also have this person right here, offering you 4 more daily quests, and they are all centered around your professions. So this one, for example, fishing 10 sugar minnow from any fresh or salt water in Pandaria. Fishing quest right here. You also have, for example, fragments of the past archaeology quest. Then you also have the just a flesh wound wind wool bandages, so that's first aid. And then you have a feast for the senses, collecting fish cakes. Basically, you have one profession, one quest for every single secondary profession: archaeology, fishing, cooking, and the first aid. Meaning that if you care about this profession, this reputation right here, the faction, you really want to have those professions to unlock way more daily quests.
Isn't there a
You
dancing
have 3
place?
by default, and then 4
Is
more
it
by having
outside?
those professions. Now,
Oh,
I
it's
also
all
said
the way
that
up
if you had
here.
to focus on only 2, I would do cooking and fishing. So, for example, cooking, you have an extra daily quest located in the Valley of the Four Winds at the Half Hill Market, where you have a cooking daily giving you a cooking item that you can then turn into cooking materials and trade for gold, or simply further your skill in cooking in Mist of Pandaria.
Oh,
So
here we
that's
go.
another cooking quest you have access to, and then you
This
have
is what we're
another
looking
faction
for.
called the Anglers. Now here you will have access to 2 daily quests you can do by default, and a 3rd daily quest that requires you to have cooking all the way down at Angler's Wharf in Quasarong Wilds. So over here as well, like, you simply get
Wait,
2
what
daily
the
quests
fuck?
if you don't have fishing, and a 3rd one if you do have fishing. So for getting reputations, having fishing is going to be very important.
Dude, it's not
and
working.
having all of these professions in general will be very important.
Oh my god.
Now, one last thing to mention here is to try to go into Mist of Pandaria with capped justice points and honor points. So try to get your justice points to 4,000 and try to get your honor points to 4,000 as well. Going from Wrath to Cataclysm, for example, honor points and justice points did not reset, and the same thing is very likely going to happen in Mist of Pandaria, where you will keep your justice points and your honor points, effectively allowing you to work towards level 90 gear right now at level 85. So cap your honor points, cap your justice points, and buy level 90 gear instantly when you get to level 90 in Mist of Pandaria Classic. Now, once again, Blizzard might reset this, but I feel like there's such a small chance that they do, and in the past they haven't. So based on that, you can, like, once again, cap your honor points and cap your justice points. Valor points will get reset, and Conquest will get reset, so don't worry about those two. So yeah, hopefully that gives you something to do until Mist of Pandaria Classic comes out, and once
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff to do there. I forgot about this 10% XP buff. Let's see. Gladiator and rank 1 titles available for 2v2 and 5v5 arenas in Mist of Pandaria. That's pretty cool. I like 2v2. PTR stress test. Class picking. Hopefully we didn't get put into like a low priority queue or nothing. There we go. And we got our freaking buff. Should we listen to stuff about retail? The Warcraft. Let's see what the Potty C has to say, you know?
Because Blizzard is cracking down on us. Hey, welcome to episode 74 of the Potty C. Dark days for us here because Blizzard is cracking down on us joining and then leaving dungeon groups. So if I'm a little distracted during this episode, it's because I'm getting my last hurrah and I'm in the group finder right now. I'm trying to just get to some dungeon groups, get to the first boss, maybe the second, and then cause a wipe and leave for old time's sake while I still can.
Yeah, we are no leavers after all.
That's right. But seriously, what do you guys think of the Blizzard? They're going to take a swing at the levers in 11.2 with a system that
In Mythic Plus?
marks you as a lever. That's the punishment.
A scarlet letter.
Yeah, in the group finder. I actually think it's a really smart way. Like, it's a social problem and it's a social solution by putting it in the group finder like that. The thing that I'm a little bit worried about is, so it has to happen multiple times for you. Like, there's a pattern, right? It's not just one instance of this. My question is, what percentage of leaving is done by people who do it often enough that it's like a pattern that they could easily get detected? Because I think League had this problem where the toxic behavior, once you cut out the most toxic few percent, there was still a lot of toxic behavior being done by people who aren't usually toxic. But if you're just toxic 1 out of every 10, 1 out of every 20 games, that's still often enough that you run into it all the time as a player. But then if we try to punish that, it's going to have to be, strict enough that 1 or 2 leaving incidents will have to be, highly likely to get you that mark. So that's the part that I personally am a little bit worried about, if that's true for WoW as well.
What do you think, Dork?
Yeah, anyone who plays MoP
Dang, you just straight up called him dork.
does know that this type of system can usually lead to people being held hostage. You know, the whole FF15,
Right.
or like, FF or I will troll, or like be toxic, just like some behavior that, like, people basically, if people want to be assholes, they're gonna be assholes regardless.
Yeah, if you're gonna vote to abandon, and then the vote doesn't go through, what's stopping that person from just actually going AFK? And like they're bricking your run in either way.
Yeah,
Yeah,
at
'cause-
least the fact that you don't get punished after one instance makes this a little bit less likely to be, because like FF or I troll, or like threatening to troll unless somebody else dodges, those kind of things are super effective because one bad game already starts ramping you penalties in League. But if in WoW, good players who are nice and kind and angels and good citizens run into a griefer, they can just leave because it'll be their only leave on their record, right? So the only time where it would be a problem of other people griefing you and putting you in that awkward position of like, should I leave and take this black mark on my name, is like, that can only be a problem for you if it happens often enough. Because if it just happens once, they have no power over you.
Yeah, I would say the other problem is if someone just like needs to go, right, and they can't
That
comfortably
happens.
leave the group.
Yeah, so again,
And
the question
that
is, like,
happens. Like,
That happens
what
sometimes.
percentage of your keys does that happen? And how many are you gonna have to leave? Like, if you leave 1 out of every 10 keys, are you gonna get this mark on you? 1 out of every 15, 1 out of every 5? Like, what are they gonna calibrate this to? Because if it's like 1 out of every 10, I mean, do you really have to leave 1 out of every 10 keys for legit reasons? Not really, right? Like, not usually.
Well, I mean, also like,
There's no way it's 10. It's got to be like 2 to 3. Unless the mark, like the scarlet letter or whatever they're going to call it, unless that lasts like an actual long time, like I would assume it was like a temporary thing, right?
yeah, let's say 1 out of 10 keys, 1 out of 20, 1 out of 50. You thought you had time to do a key, but it turns out, or something came up,
Right.
some emergency or something urgent, you have to leave. You can just type in the chat like, hey guys, I'm voting to disband, but actually something just came up and I have to go, right? And then like they just be like, well, I mean, shit, that guy has to go anyway. Our key might just be brick. That's unlucky. That's now the problem is that's kind of hard to tell the difference between that and someone who's just saying that, but they just don't want to be in the key anymore,
Right.
But there's nothing you can do against that. I still think them doing something is better than nothing at all. No one really likes actual leavers. I don't think a lot of innocent people are going to be punished with this, but I could be proved wrong. It's one of those things where the theory of what Blizzard is trying to do makes.
Yeah, I feel like, I mean, I'm glad they're taking a stance on this, but I feel like it's mostly just trying to satiate the people who are so upset about it. There is like a huge social problem of people who are so upset about it. And it is pretty frustrating when you're doing Mythic Plus and somebody just fucking decides to fucking leave, like, out of anything or nothing or whatever. So, I mean, at least they're trying to do something, and they can kind of like experiment with this process or this idea and see if they can make it better or whatever.
Sense, but how it plays out in practice, you just never know, right? So interested to see how
Yeah,
it plays out, but I think it's better than doing nothing.
there you
Yeah,
go.
it is interesting because they have mentioned this. How many patches ago was it? You guys remember when they were trying to ban leavers?
It was like
That was, like, a pretty
Arakara,
big
so
deal.
it was season 1 of this expansion, right?
Dude, oh my god, the start of this expansion with people who were farming that fucking trinket out of M0, and they would just do it, it didn't drop, and then they would leave, like, was actually insane.
Yeah, which this doesn't affect, by the way, because that was in Heroic.
Yeah.
And even if it was
It was Mythic Zero,
which is also
wasn't it?
another lever situation.
Or was it heroic?
Like this is only in a Mythic Plus key where you put in a keystone, so it wouldn't even affect those things.
Yeah, I kind of just wonder like why they needed to take this measure when they were already taking action to begin with. But I mean, I do like the whole branding players with a scarlet letter or some type of this person might be a problem to play with. And
Yeah,
I
I'm
wonder
sort
if
of
they
see
can
what it looks
extend
like.
that.
Yeah.
To other
Like, I wonder if they
things?
can like extend that further to some type of shadow ban system.
Yeah, or like this person's
Ooh.
known patter when they sign up
I
to your raid. Like they've
see.
got good parsons or
Yeah,
whatever,
yeah.
but you know, they're known patter. They get that mark on their application.
Or the opposite too, like
Let me swap this over here. And put this right here. I'll be able to see that better.
this person's a great tank, great
True,
person to
yeah.
play with.
This person's a mechanics-oriented player. Or you could do like the honor system in League, I guess. That's I don't know. I guess my thing with this, I kind of think it's more likely that this won't do enough rather than it doing too much. I kind of think it's more likely that like
It
they're gonna
literally
make it
won't do anything actually, unless they push it further beyond than that. But I feel like it literally is just like to shut people up about complaining about this, and or at least maybe some social pressure to make sure people aren't being branded as like leavers, you know, because I mean, really, that's the biggest reason not to leave is like you don't want to be an asshole, really.
so not sensitive to avoid the, you know, abuse cases that might exist that it just isn't actually going to catch that high a percentage of toxic behavior, especially if my theory is right that the toxic behavior happens largely among players who aren't usually toxic, and then it's like it'd be pretty hard to mark those players without having a very, you know, low threshold for putting that mark on people.
Yeah, you don't want to mark the people who didn't do anything.
Yeah.
Right. Like that's at all. But to answer your question, Dorky, like why, or at least I think why would Blizzard do this? They already said they were banning leavers. Either that's not a very effective way, whatever it's hard for them to find them, and what they were doing before wasn't good enough, or they're offloading the work, right? They're like, we can just let the community police themselves by putting in this very simple thing,
AOE taunt.
right? And
That is
then
a
we don't have to worry
really,
about
really good
trying to
fucking
find
point.
exactly who's leaving and who's not, because I bet there's a bunch of false reports.
That
of
is a really good
you know?
point.
So I bet that like them actually trying to do that. Didn't we all respond when they were like, we're gonna ban leavers, and we were kind of like, how the fuck are they gonna do that?
Yeah.
You know, like how do you know outside of like people reporting people? But then that could be bad faith actors too reporting. So like, it's really really difficult. So they probably just saw this as probably a better solution to that. My assumption would be like that wasn't very effective.
Yeah, I think any system that's like automated has got to be better than any rely on them to manually ban people, because that's just like season over season.
That's, I don't know if that's a good take actually. I don't know if that's a good take at all actually.
And their passion for doing that is going to wax and wane. So having an automated system, I think it's a step in a good direction. I don't know. I'm cautiously optimistic that this is going to make things better, but I'm somewhat pessimistic that it's not going to make them a lot better. That's my current take on this. But I'm also glad that they're doing something.
Yep, agreed.
Can I do
Okay.
Yeah.
TBC dungeons now, or do I have to be level 60? Chat. Anybody know? I can't. I can only do classic dungeons. We gotta get 2 more levels. The flip.
Let's move on to other 11.2 stuff. Do you guys want to tackle the hot speculation of a third DH spec?
Oh, I'm fully on board. I don't even think it's speculation. I think it's like money
What would the fucking third Demon Hunter spec be?
back guarantee.
Money back guarantee. Yeah, I mean, it looks compelling. There's like a void DH meta thing that's out.
So I haven't looked at it.
Void?
Why exactly are people
So-
speculating this?
Void
It's
Demon
like a raid
Hunter.
boss, right?
I might be missing a few things, but yeah, there's a raid boss, which by the way has this like really weird optional tag to it, but I have a theory about what that is about too. So the boss is a Demon Hunter Council boss. There's 3 Demon Hunters, and one of them is just the most Havoc Demon Hunter. Their abilities are literally Blade Dance and other Havoc things. The other boss, the second boss, is a Vengeance Demon Hunter, which just has all the Vengeance toolkit just straight up. And then there's a third Demon Hunter that just has an entirely different toolkit of cool looking mechanics And it's like, okay, that's first of all, I think that alone is just like, I'm 90% sure that this is happening. Plus, there's a precedent for this, right? Like they did this last expansion. Then in the middle of a patch, not on the release, they like kind of shadow dropped a spec. Right? They announced it. I don't remember, when did they announce AUG? Was it after?
It was after
the main-
This is a
Sarkareth
0.5.
died, right?
It was after Sarkareth died. Okay, and then
Yeah.
they announced it to come out in the 0.5. I think it was
Yes.
at 0.7. One of the. Okay, so
It's the 0.5.
that-
yeah.
I'd be willing to bet a ton that it's either when this boss dies, specifically the Shadow Council boss, or when the end boss dies, or something like that's going to be the new hype announcement for 11.5. Is there's a new Demon Hunter spec.
That would be pretty cool.
Also, the boss is listed as optional. There's a bunch of speculation going on with that right
What?
now. Do you know
Optional?
anything more about that than me, Dratnos, rather than?
There's a like the
AOE
Hall of
talk.
Fame achievement has been updated to require you to kill all the bosses now to get it, except
Okay.
that one. It's actually it's got 7 instances of killing the last boss in the achievement right now.
Let me read this. When you shoutable, incinerate, or soulfire a target that is below 25%, the cast time of your soulfire spell is reduced by 20%. Is that good? I know that used to be good, right? The fuck do I even go for here, man? We'll go for this one.
But there are 8 bosses in the raid, so my guess is that you don't have to kill that boss for Hall of Fame or anything.
Okay, that is not my guess. Although this is all speculation because who the fuck knows? But until they clarify it, but that is so strange to me. That's, to be clear, that's never happened before. So they would just do that out of nowhere, right? That's in Butcher that didn't happen. You could go kill Imperator Margok, but you had to go back and kill Butcher to like end the race and also to get the achievement for Heimal. It included Butcher. So and Raden is like an extra mythic boss, totally separate thing. So this has never happened before. They mentioned the boss is optional. I heard a theory earlier that in the DH Discord, I don't know who, someone could have made this up, by the way, but it's the thing that makes the most sense to me. That it's going to take a Demon Hunter to summon this boss, to make this boss appear. And the reason it's listed or even mentioned by Blizzard as optional is you would have to go through, like, it's possible in a normal 10-man normal raid, there are groups that clear with normal and heroic being their main content that don't have a Demon Hunter. So you need to have the ability to go to the last boss to like without going to this boss, because you might not have a Demon Hunter that can summon it, right? You may want to look for a Demon Hunter in the group finder or whatever, but they're just doing some like crazy epic lore shit with that requires you to have a Demon Hunter do it, and that is why it's optional at all. But as far as my assumption is, as far as Mythic and the race is concerned, like completing the raid once they actually update the achievement, and also for the race, I imagine you're gonna have to kill.
It sounds kind of interesting. I've never really played a Demon Hunter before, so I don't know how much I really care. But I just think it's kind of cool that they're like adding new specs to the game, and I wonder how it's gonna play. Is it just gonna be like a DPS spec? Like, what the fuck else can you do? You know, like they have a tank Demon Hunter spec, they have a DPS spec. Like, what would you even do? I guess like warriors. I mean, lots of DPS specs have multiple different types of specializations, like Frost, Fire, you know, Arcane Mage. I guess it would just be a different DPS spec, and or like Arms Warrior, Prot Warrior, Fury Warrior, you know, 2 DPS specs. Like, I guess it's not that crazy, but it's weird now that this has existed for so long. Oh, hey, yo, what's up? What's up, Hypno? Theory that it might be like Dancer from Final Fantasy throwing glaives mid-range as a support. That would be so weird. I would be so surprised if they did some shit like that. That would be so fucking weird, but like, I'm for it. I'm for it. I like when they do some weird shit like that.
Kill every boss. And
How's
also
it
the
going, man?
boss, it drops really OP boots that like interact with the cloak.
Yeah.
They're like bonus loot, like personal looted. It's not even very rare. And it drops a
It would be
regular
weird, but the
gear
idea is out
piece.
there. Yeah,
Like,
I
just
could.
like its shoulders or something. Just
Yeah,
like
I mean,
one of-
you know, the good thing about that is they were basically just stealing an idea from another company, so that's on brand. I saw something saying it's likely a 2-handed Death Knight void kind of thingy, like the difference between like frost and unholy, maybe. It's going, excited for mobs, so starting to dip my toes back in. Well, that's fucking cool. When was the last time you played Classic, dude? Did you play Cataclysm at all? I don't know if you are leveling up a character now or not, but there currently is both Joyous Journeys and the Fire Festival active right now. So that is a baseline 60% increase in experience. And that's not even including heirlooms or anything like that, which is kind of crazy. Like, I have barely leveled this character in terms of time spent, and I'm almost level 60. No, not a Cata fan. Did it once. Didn't need it again. But MoP is my all-time 10 out of 10. Number one all-time expansion. Really? Okay, so here's the thing. I'm really excited for MoP, but I never played MoP, really. I played a tiny bit at the start and a tiny bit at the end. But I was like, I don't know. I was busy in real life. I didn't really have a lot of time to play. And I didn't play a lot of MoP. So, like, I'm excited because I didn't play it, you know? And I hear really good things. What is it about MoP? Okay, let's see. Best raids, best zone design, best quest flow, best music, best class balance. Bro, okay, well, I got news for you. Play through it with music on, please. So I did actually play through the beta recently, and I did like a what's it called? 85 to 90, like basically did all the zones or whatever. And I really liked it. It was really fun. I think it started off super strong. Like the first 2 zones have like a ton of like quest flavor, and they're kind of funny, and the story's good or whatever. And then I felt like it fell off a little bit for me personally. But that's beta, so it's a little different. But it was like, yeah, that was my experience for the questing. The dungeons, I didn't really like the dungeons too much, but I'm very excited for challenge modes. So challenge modes are something that I've always thought was like a cool idea. It's like the beginning of Mythic Plus kind of, and the idea of like doing it for specifically like transmogs and stuff, right? So I'm excited to do challenge modes, and I have heard amazing things about the raid. I think the one I'm most excited for is probably Throne of Thunder. Have you seen the items from back then? I have seen, yeah, I for sure have seen the challenge mode sets. Yeah, they look awesome. That's probably like the biggest highlight for me that I'm most excited is to go through and do challenge modes and to see if they expand on that system, dude. To see if they expand on that system. The glaive. So actually, you know, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure the glaive and the weapons are from WoD, aren't they? And the actual armor sets are the ones that are in MoP. I like that they're not doing Group Finder. That's positive for me. Oh, you mean Raid Finder? Because they are doing Group Finder. They are doing Group Finder. Let me just miss my pet here. Yeah. That's where the fuck is everybody right now? I actually don't know where this guy went. I think we jumped and we shouldn't have jumped. Oh, right. There's a boss under stairs. Oops. Yeah, whoops. Me and the mage, we made a mistake. Bro, I'm not sure how much you've been paying attention to like the changes they are going to be making, but they are making massive balance changes. And I think the overall goal is to make it more balanced. And, you know, you're saying it was pretty balanced, but they are doing like crazy swings and different, and like removing 30% damage here, removing utility, removing certain things, like adding 40% damage, 40% healing to somebody, removing, like, it's crazy. Like the crazy amounts of swings they're doing on some of these balance changes. So I do think it is going to end up probably being really balanced, you know? But like, it's kind of crazy how much they're changing. Like, I'm kind of I'm like I feel, you know, all these people that are planning their raid comps and planning, like they want to play the best classes, they want to play the best stuff or whatever, and you know, it's like it's so unpredictable right now because of how much they're changing, and this is the most aggressive they have ever been in that category. They usually are very subtle and very soft with like these sorts of changes. Yeah, you were right. I had them flipped. The MoP gear sets were amazing. The WAD weapons equally so. I never did either of them, to be honest. So I'm excited to experience both of those things. I'm not gonna go for these boots. It's not a big deal. I feel bad. I didn't even kill the boss, dude. I didn't even kill the boss. I'm really excited for MoP though. Do you know what you're gonna be playing, Hypno? Because I remember, I think you were a warrior in Classic, so you probably got like a level 60, level 70 warrior, right? Maybe, I don't know if you played Wrath. Maybe you have a level 80 warrior. A lot of people look back on MoP as one of, if not the best. A lot took it for granted. Yeah. I've done warrior, rogue, mage, shaman in Classic. So what are you landing on for MoP, you think? Wrath server had a rogue, leveling it now to 85. Okay, there you go. All right. Well, maybe you can, I don't know if you care about this, but you could sneak in and get the daggers, you know? They're really easy. They're really easy to get in Dragon Soul right now. If you can just get into a raid for like 3 weeks or so, nothing touches Brewmaster. But I'm gonna monk like I did back then. Oh shit, dude. Yeah. Oh, you know what? You were a SOD player. So you probably, well, I'm not sure if you did Scarlet Enclave or not, but you probably are going to get the free 85 boost too. I'm not sure if you even know about that. But anybody who killed the first boss in the Scarlet Enclave raid gets a free level 85 boost in MoP. I didn't do Enclave. Well, you probably got a geared character. It would be easy to go in there and snag a freaking first boss kill. That's what I did. Me and my friends, we went into, like, we kind of joined a guild on SOD. I didn't really play a lot of SOD, but, like, we got carried through Scarlet Enclave raid, and so we'll both have the boost here in a few days, or it's like 7 days, right? On the 1st. I would try to do that, man. Might as well. Because there's speculation that you'll be able to just boost pandas, which will kind of be a little lame for the pre-patch, but at the same time, I guess, like, why not? Whatever. Anyways, I'm excited for freaking MoP, man. I think the two most exciting things for me are doing challenge modes, and I'm looking forward to doing the raids, and specifically doing Throne of Thunder. I think it's going to be really cool. I hope not. They didn't allow it back in the day. Yeah, so on the promotional material, there was like some wording saying that specifically you cannot boost pandas. But then that got removed on the promotional material. So like it's possible that people are saying it might be like they might be able to boost panda monks. I don't know. I kind of hope not either. I feel like that's going to be most of like what people are going to want to do in pre-patch. And if they just let people boost panda monks, then it'll kind of like ruin a lot of like activity. You know, a lot of people are just going to be fucking leveling monks. I like how me and this guy have been AFK here for like literally 10 minutes. We're going in. Oh shit, bro. That guy is fucking crazy, dude. Well, that's really cool that you're going to be playing MoP, man. That's awesome. I'm sure, like, you know what? I actually have a memory of whenever Classic was, like, on the dawn of its, you know, like, before it came out. I just remember going into your Twitch all the time and literally just talking about Classic all the fucking time. Like, I was such a Classic fucking Andy, man. I still am, honestly, because I still play all the time, but I just remember going into your fucking Twitch all the time and just like, it's gonna be amazing. I love classic. I'm the class dude. So I hope MoP is I hope MoP hits that bar for you, as well as myself, obviously. I hope I have the most fun as possible, but you know, I never really played it, so I think it's gonna be an experience that is uncomparable because it will mostly be fresh. Classic popping off the way it did was amazing. It really did pop off, like kind of like an insane way. It wasn't quite like old school WoW, you know, how like much of a phenomenon that was, right? But like it pretty was it did pretty fucking good, honestly. And it continues to do so with things like, you know, how popular hardcore was and all of that stuff. I wish I could experience that fresh feeling again. Yeah. It's going to take a long time before that happens again. Honestly, it probably will not be able to have something like that ever happen again because of how just the, you know, the circumstance of everything, right? I'm terrible at this character. This is the very first time that I've ever played a warlock. Usually I'm very anti-warlock because warlocks used to kick my fucking ass back in vanilla, and ever since then I was a little kid, I just fucking hated warlocks, man. I just fucking despised them. I was like, this is fucking stupid. Fear is so fucking overpowered. Dots are so dumb. They're tanky. They can heal themselves. They do crazy damage. Their pets have the best utility. And I just like was constantly hating. They're so fucking overpowered. Tanky. Themselves. Damage. Their was it's time for oh, we're freaking lagging. No, I DC again. DC. Wish I could experience. Is it back? Dude, I don't know what's been going on with my internet. I gotta fix that, man. Biggest thing I've got now is looking forward to housing next retail expansion. Well, I don't know if you can hear me or not, but I'm really excited about the housing stuff. I think that's going to be really cool, especially with like all the hype around that.
AoE taunt.
Like I keep hearing specifically a lot of people say this thing. This exact like phrase, which is like the housing coming to World of Warcraft is like going to be the best thing they've ever added into the game. Is like this grand statement that people keep making. So I hope it is going to be as good as everyone is hyping it up to be. I think it's going to be cool. It's kind of a weird thing is like, I think it's going to be so cool, but it's not necessarily the thing that, I don't know. If you were to like talk about housing in another game, like I wouldn't be freaking out about it, you know? I'm pretty excited for it, but like housing isn't necessarily the coolest thing in the world to me. I'm pretty excited for it still. I wish I could stop disconnecting, man. Whatever, it's not my fault. I didn't do anything wrong. I just gotta probably reset my router or something later today. If I keep disconnecting, I'll go reset my router or something. Let me restart my stream on my browser here. Yeah, so I'm just leveling a warlock because I have a few friends in this guild that want to play. And that sounds fun. Stop this guy, and then we'll swap the Fell Hunter. What server are you on? So most of my characters are on Benediction, and I'm playing mostly Alliance. But this Horde character is on Mankirk. So right now I'm on Mankirk. This is like kind of my only Horde character that I have. What about you? I used to be on Farlina. Oh, weren't you on Herod? If I remember correctly. That's crazy how much I remember about freaking 2019 Classic. Farlina. I was originally on Farlina when it was a 50-50 server. And then once it went Horde, everyone transferred to Benediction. Hello, Yakum. Hello. How's it going, man? What's up, dude? I know. It's what's so crazy about that is when you think about how the population of that server is so like one-sided that every single person that had to transfer off of that, like all the Alliance players, had to pay fucking money, dude. Like the amount of money I had to pay to transfer all my fucking characters off of Farlina was absurd. It's actual scam. Actual scam. I played some Chrono Odyssey this weekend. Oh shit. How's that? I saw Annie Fuchsia playing that game and it looked all right. I don't know. Are you having fun? Did you not play this PoE season, Yekum? Oh man, I got an ad break coming. I'm surprised. It was a good one. It was a fun one. I feel like I want to keep playing, but I always hit this point in PoE where I kind of stop knowing how to progress. You know? Like everything becomes so unobtainable where it's like, okay, I don't know what to do to progress my character at this point. Like I've got all the like mid-level upgrades and anything that I want to get is going to be like 80 divines. And it's like, I don't even know how to approach farming that much currency in a realistic manner. And then I usually like kind of just stall and not play anymore. But I'm level 96. I've got a pretty strong character. I can do T17s. I didn't kill any Uber bosses, but I have all my map slots, you know. I got like every map done pretty much. Got a lot of pick a league mechanic you love and tunnel vision on it while you're trying to craft for yourself. Yeah, I'm just not that good at the game. So I think I do a little better each time I play in terms of like how quickly I progress and how good I do or whatever. A warg carrier. Oh shit, Cloud Runner girdle, guys. This belt is crazy. Had a lot of real life things going on. I don't enjoy PoE unless I'm able to get to end game and put some real time into it. So I decided it wasn't a good idea not to. Okay, well that's fair. That's fair. It was a fun league mechanic though. It was like, I don't know how much you know about it, but they did like a follower kind of thing where you got mercenaries, and the mercenaries had their own like unique sets of abilities, right? And then you could basically put gear on them, and all the gear could synergize with your build. So all their abilities and all their gear could just completely synergize with your build. And it was like, that's actually so cool. And the amount of like creative shit that people were doing was really cool. I actually think it's awesome. I wonder if it's gonna be a mechanic they end up making like a core mechanic to the game. I wouldn't be that surprised if they did try to do something like that. Or I really wonder if they're gonna try to like even implement it into, you know, perhaps PoE 2. Because it's a really cool system. And people love like getting followers and stuff. And I feel like the followers, they add so much expansion to your, because it's a whole other fucking character that you gear out, you know? Like it really did have a lot of elements of like Diablo 3 mercenary gearing, where you would get like Unity on Diablo 3 or you would wear Unity and you would get like that damage reduction or whatever. Like that was kind of a cool little concept. Chrono Odyssey was pretty fun. Pros. The bosses feel like an actual soul. Whoa. Really? It has like Souls-like combat? I didn't know that. I only saw someone playing a bow character. I didn't know they actually had like some Souls-like stuff. It had all the BDO mechanics still there, and I really like those things. Cons. The graphics somehow felt worse than BDO. Oh, is it like... I didn't know it was like a Black Desert Online kind of thing. Does the game have some relation to Black Desert Online? Graphics felt worse than BDO, which has been out for a decade. Buggy. It's a playtest. Still needs polish. Game felt a little buggy. Yeah, that's interesting. Might be one that I need to try out. It's made by Kakoa, the people who made BDO. I didn't know that. Maybe they really wanted to go like more accessible this time on graphics, because that was one of the biggest things. Even myself, I felt like I was gated out of playing BDO because of like, I just didn't have a system that could really run it at the time. So I never even gave BDO a shot because of how crazy the graphics were. So they probably just like went way in the other direction this time, making it way more accessible or something. Lower rock spire. It's a pretty good weapon. It's like way better than my weapon actually. But whatever, I got an heirloom. Yeah, I hear you. It's wild because it feels like they slapped in some new classes and kept a lot of the BDO vibe, and then they just put Souls bosses in the game. That actually sounds pretty sick. Man, that sounds really fun. Chrono Odyssey. Let's see if these guys want to re-queue. You guys want to re-queue? Nope, they do not. Okay. Well, I guess we're leaving. Let's watch a trailer, maybe. Can we watch a trailer? Because I don't really know much about this game. Chrono Odyssey. Trailer. Summer Game Fest trailer from 2 weeks ago. It's an MMO at its core. I'm doing quests, there's gathering professions, you can group up, there's towns and mounts. But I can't put my finger on it. The game doesn't feel ready. It's got some work to do, but it's a good base. Oh, did you end up trying it out too, Hypno? It has all the potential. I need to scoot for a couple of minutes. Be right back. Okay. I'm gonna watch a trailer. Take a little break on my podcast. I feel like I watched Summer Game Fest and I don't remember this.
I saw my world fall to ash, consumed by the void.
I do remember this actually. I didn't even know this was an MMO.
Try as I might to quell their advance. 'Twas all for naught. Some say time stops for no one. Neither man nor god, living nor dead.
How much is this game?
Yet what then of those who deigned to turn back
Oh yeah, you can link wherever you want. I'll watch that right after this.
the hands of fate? To save what remains of our broken worlds.
Oh, this is like just a play test, huh? So you don't have to pay to play?
Return to the past.
Is it
Where your
still
journey
active?
Awaits.
Oh, it's over. Oh man, I didn't realize it was free. Damn, I would have fucking tried that shit. Damn. I didn't actually even realize that. All right, let's watch this. 11 minutes.
Chrono Odyssey is not escaping the allegations that it is effectively New World from Temu, and to be honest, it's getting a little bit more serious than that. Let's jump in, let's talk about it. So what
It's New World from Temu. Okay, well maybe I didn't miss out.
happened is there was a recent closed beta test for Chrono Odyssey, and in that test you were supposed to stick within one region of the map. At the edge of the maps there was this wall that was initially invisible, but when you get closer to it
Worst
you
thing
realize you
you
can't
can
pass
say.
through it, it turns blue. But
Dude,
some
New World is already from Temu. Like holy shit.
cunning players found a way through. The way through was basically just to die and make sure your body fell through the other side, log out, and then you would basically spawn at a nearby town that you weren't supposed to be able to get to. I had a very brief moment to do this morning. And
No way,
never
I
really managed to
disconnected
explore
again.
a lot,
Okay.
but some people managed to do it last night, and they explored an awful lot more. Now, what's the problem here? Everything about this sort of sounds cool. You get a little sneak peek at what's coming. All sounded good, mostly looks good. The issue arises when you go to specific points on the map that have a very similar resemblance to what you might find in New World. And if I'm honest, that is completely understating it. In the game, and I've actually seen two different examples of the same kind of thing, there are some buildings that are incredibly similar, and when I say incredibly similar, I'd say like
They look
99%.
identical. Oh my god, dude. Oh my god, dude. Dude. I don't understand why my freaking game, whatever. I don't understand why I keep disconnecting. Oh man. Man, why I keep disconnecting. Oh man.